What's up everybody, I am Jaspreet Singh and welcome to the Minority Mindset. So many of you have asked me, how do you start a business when you're going to school or while you're working a job full time? Well, we all have different experiences and goals, so I can't tell you what's best for you, but I can tell you how I did it. So backing up to my college days, I went to college at the University of Michigan, which, if you haven't heard of it, is a pretty tough university and a big football school. Since I was a little kid, my parents always wanted me to be a doctor, so this was my time to finally fulfill my parents' dreams. So my class schedules were loaded with classes like physics, biology, organic chemistry, and calculus, and I would pack all of these classes into one semester because I thought that's what you needed to do to be successful in life. And as I was trying to get adjusted to college as a 17-year-old kid, I also decided to start my first business, JS Entertainment. Well, I actually kind of started when I was in high school because I was throwing teen parties for kids in my school and I was working at weddings with my DJ friends. So college was when I turned my hobby into a real business. When I came to college, I was shocked to see how many people were all about blowing their student loans on partying. I wasn't really about that. I mean, I don't drink and I'm not really into partying, but I needed something to do on Friday nights and I figured, I could throw the parties that everyone's going to, and that's how JS Entertainment started. At first, managing my new business and going to school wasn't that big of a deal because I was only hosting like one event a month, so it wasn't that big of a time commitment. Every time I had an event or a party coming up, I would print literally 5,000 of these promotional flyers and I would pass it around to people on campus, which was a little tedious when I was doing it alone. But then, I realized that I could get promoters to promote our events and pass out flyers for free if I gave them a free VIP ticket into our next event, meaning they got to skip the line. This cost me $0 and 0 cents, but it allowed me to build a whole network of promoters on different college campuses because people like the exclusivity of being on our VIP list. It's kind of funny because as we began to grow, I saw that people were making fun of me because I was promoting my events so hard, but I didn't really care. If you're mad or upset that I'm working hard to promote my events and my products and my business that I work to create, that's your problem, not mine. This is when I really learned that no matter what you do, the majority of people are gonna be upset if you do something that's not normal. So I figured, all right, how about I work harder to give you something else to talk about? Then things started to pick up even more to the point where we were hosting an event, a party, or a concert every single week, and sometimes even twice a week. This was when things started to get really busy because I was in class all day long, and then I had to study because all of these pre-medical classes that I was in were filled with a bunch of geniuses, and then I had to plan, organize, and promote an event every single week and make sure that it's successful, because if I don't do a good job, then I could lose my contracts with my clubs and venues that I have, and then I'd be out of business. And that's when I started staying up later and waking up earlier because I couldn't let my grades slip because my parents expected me to go to medical school and become a doctor, and I couldn't tell them about any of my business stuff that I was doing because they would freak out. So I had to become very efficient with what I did. Like, if you want the honest truth, I wouldn't even go to the bathroom without taking my work with me. Seriously. It was either sacrifice my grades, which wasn't gonna fly with my parents, sacrifice my business, which wasn't gonna fly with me, or sacrifice other things like peace in the bathroom and my sleep at night. Oh man, I remember one time specifically where we were having issues with a whole bunch of things. Like, there was an issue with our vendor and our venue wasn't like working out, and there was just a whole bunch of things going wrong. And I remember I finished up class and I went to the library in the evening and I was just like, all right, I gotta finish up all this work. So I was working in the library and I didn't get to leave the library until 7:50 a.m. the next morning. And then directly from the library, I walked into my organic chemistry classroom, which started at 8 a.m. and then I had to go on with my day. Whew. that was a rough day. But what was honestly mind-blowing to me was that I was making decent money without going to a job and without having a degree. Like when I was young, I always believed that you needed this like degree, this license to make money, and the better your degree is, the more money you make. I mean, this sounds kind of stupid to me now as I'm saying this, but this is what I was always taught when I was young, and that's what I always believed, and seeing this was just, it was like really crazy. Look, I'm blessed and I'm very fortunate. I never had to worry about going to sleep hungry or being homeless or anything like that, but I learned the value of $1 pretty quickly. And do you remember how I said U of M is a big football school? Well, that's kind of an understatement because our football stadium is known as the Big House because it's the largest college football stadium in America and it's one of the top 5 biggest stadiums in the world. So we take football pretty seriously. Every Saturday during the fall is game day and the entire town would shut down because everybody goes to tailgate and watch the game. I played football in all of high school and middle school and I'm a big football fan. So you want to guess how many games I went to when I was in college? I'll give you a hint. It was more than 0. It was 1/4 of 1 game, so 0.25 games, and then I had to leave after the first quarter. Why so little? Because I was still working in the wedding industry, and wedding season here is the summertime and fall, which overlaps with the football season. The DJs that brought me into the wedding business were the same DJs that I used at our college events, so it was all intertwined. So we would host events on Friday nights, which normally didn't end until 2 a.m., which meant I didn't get home until 3 or 4 a.m., and then I'd go home, go to sleep, and then I'd have to wake up super early the next morning to start setting up for the wedding with my DJ friends, because if a wedding starts at 10:30 a.m., that means I have to get there, we have to unpack our stuff, and then we have to set up and be ready to go before 10:30 a.m. Then we would be there working all day Saturday until it was finally time to pack up after everyone leaves the reception at like midnight or 1 a.m. and then we'd pack up the stuff and I'd finally get to go home and get some sleep, and then Sunday it was studying and start planning next week's event because Monday it's back to school. And as I grew as a person throughout college, I started to realize that this was not the business I wanted to be in for the rest of my life. So as I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I tried starting a bunch of different businesses. Some of them were in real estate, some of them were online, like selling things on Amazon, some of them were selling physical products and wholesaling and doing all of these things. And some of these businesses did really well, and others of them just did not. They were complete failures. And so it was a very emotional roller coaster trying to figure this out. But the hustle never changed, even when I started law school. I came to law school because, well, let's just say my parents were not happy when they found out that I was gonna be some entrepreneur instead of becoming a doctor. It just didn't make sense to them culturally. But I go to class just like everybody else, and after a long day of classes and studying, when everybody goes home to relax, I go to work. Or I go to a night class for acting because I never imagined that I'd be here in front of my camera making videos on YouTube, which means that I go to class and study, and then I go to my night class for acting, and then I get home at 10 p.m. and then I have to start work. Like, going to law school is a full-time gig and starting a business is a full-time thing as well. So if I want to do both, I gotta cut some things out. So I don't really watch TV, and that means most of my evenings, weekends, and holidays are spent catching up or getting ahead on work. See, with me, I don't like the idea of settling. I mean, we only live once, so I want to do something bigger and leave my mark on the world and help other people. I mean, I don't want to just go and work a 9-to-5 job and then come home and then watch TV and then go to sleep and repeat that for 40 years and call it a life. I mean, I want to do something bigger. I truly believe that if you have a reason for why you do what you do, you'll find a way. If you don't, then you'll find an excuse. It really comes down to that. So now that you know a little bit more about me, tell me about you and what you're trying to do. Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button and share it with one friend so we can help spread the word. Don't miss our new videos on entrepreneurship, business, and money every single week. So hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you actually find out when our new videos are released. And as always, keep hustling.